How many times have you tried listening to music, mainly current music or what's trending at the moment, and find yourself spending more time skipping majority of the new songs, zoning out into the abyss of trash music purgatory, before finally settling on an old playlist you created in 2016? Yeah, you're not the only one.
Look at us. Hey, look at us.
The expectation new music carried in the past used to bring nothing but pure joy and blissful delight. And now it only brings exhaustion. Hits of today don't carry the same weight like hits did back in the day. The hits of today have a shorter shelf life, meanwhile older hits are experiencing a resurgence or lasting longer on the charts, blocking newer tracks from peaking at higher positions because the hits aren't hitting. So for this video, let's explore the phenomenon of artists nowadays not being able to produce long-lasting hits anymore. Why is this happening? And is the internet really to be blamed for this predicament? I am Daniel, Pop Culture Boy. Let's get into it.
Catastrophic.
Traditionally, by the summer, we have multiple hits either released early in the year or late in the year prior dominating the charts that end up competing for the Song of the Summer title, which we'll get back to in a bit. But that's not happening. And it's because right now, at this time, songs are lasting longer on the charts. And in my opinion, some of these long-lasting hits did their time, but they are still really good. Hence why they are still in high positions on the charts. If we look at the Billboard Hot 100 in the top 10, which is currently being dominated by
Morgan Wallen,
who has several songs that has been charting since last year. We'll see Shaboozey's A Bar song Tipsy, which is currently at number 4, which had previously tied for the most weeks at number 1, along with Lil Nas X's Old Town Road, has been on the chart for over a year now with 64 weeks. If we look at the number 9 spot, we'll find the rock country leaning duet Die With A Smile by Bruno Mars and Lady Gaga. That's been on the chart for almost a year now. Chappell Roan's Pink Pony Club, a sleeper hit I might add, that completes the top 10, also has been on the chart for a year. And Teddy Swims, a previous number 1 holder with his song Lose Control, which sits at number 8, has been on the chart for 98 weeks, which is, let me do the math, a year and 10 months. Almost 2 blood clot years. But wait, it's not only in the top 10 we see these everlasting songs taking up space. Let's walk on over to the top 20. The number 11 track Beautiful Things by one of the internet's punching bags. Ladies and gentlemen, Benson Boone. Beautiful Things has so far spent 75 weeks on the Hot 100. In the top 20, we also find Post Malone and Morgan Wallen's I Had Some Help has spent 60 weeks on the chart. Billie Eilish's Birds of a Feather, 60 weeks. There's also Sabrina Carpenter with her mega hit Espresso, which has spent 64 weeks. Now, to play devil's advocate, I can see why these tracks are still charting so high. While they are popular songs made to resonate with a wide audience, which isn't always a bad thing, these tracks are of quality. Die With A Smile, Espresso, A Bar song, even Benson Boone's Beautiful Things is of quality. Oh yes, and I actually love that song. I think it's great.
Yup.
Why is this happening? Why now? What now? So I did the unspeakable and asked the internet, are songs lasting longer on the charts now? The internet replied, yes, songs are generally lasting longer on the charts. This longer chart life is largely attributed to the rise of streaming services, which allow for repeated listens and contribute to a song's longevity on charts. Now, this is an AI over review that Google likes to provide, which I know will get some of y'all panties twisted up into a bunch. So let's hear what Billboard.com, the most trusted source for music theology, has to say. In this article by Jason Lipschutz, published back in May, titled Hit Songs Are Lasting Longer on the Charts, But Why? In the article, Jason wrote, the Hot 100 always includes a wide swath of ubiquitous hits, but rarely have so many of those hits endured at once. On the Hot 100 dated May 24, 0 songs in the top 10 had spent a single-digit number of weeks on the chart. The average number of weeks spent on the chart by songs in the top 20 was 30.35 weeks. 5 years ago, on the Hot 100 dated May 30, 2020, that average was 18.75 weeks. On the recent Hot 100, a total of 9 songs in the top 20 had spent 30 weeks or more on the chart. 10 years ago, on the Hot 100 dated May 30, 2015, that total was one song in the top 20. The article continues. What's causing this period of smashes that last forever on the chart? Part of the explanation for the lack of 2025 chart movement is the glut of new pop voices from 2024 spilling over into a new year, says Spotify editorial lead Talia Cranes. I think that 2024 was such a crazy year for pop music and incredible music and artists. That was years in the making, she says. Cranes points to artists like Chappell Roan, whose Pink Pony Club is approaching 50 weeks on the Hot 100, and Charlie XCX, whose 2020 song Party For You is just now hitting the chart, who helped define the mainstream last year while also boasting ample back catalogs for fans to explore on streaming services. They were fully formed propositions, says Cranes. I feel like a whole new generation found their new favorite artist and their new favorite song, and they're digging in on that. Chart longevity may also be a product of post-pandemic timing, says Michael Martin, SVP of programming at Odyssey. After all, Before Losing Control lodged 92 weeks on the chart. The Weeknd's Blinding Lights and Glass Animals' Heat Waves were quarantine-era anthems that previously set the record in April 2021 and October 2022 respectively. The fact that the record has been reset 3 times in the last 5 years nods to how the lifespan of a mega hit changed to account for audience appetites. Everyone wants comfort food, right? Says Martin of pandemic-era pop. People wanted things they knew, like their favorite TV show that they binge watch again. There's something about that familiar song that they loved and wanted to keep hearing. Yet, Cranes points out that the key difference between the music industry of 5 years ago and the industry today is how viral hits are located and promoted by labels to set up longer chart runs. At the dawn of the TikTok era, unknown artists with a viral spark were quickly signed and pushed to radio programmers and streaming services. Now, artists like Swims, who was signed to Warner Records in late 2019 after some YouTube covers made noise, are often developed for years before a single receives mainstream promotion. So, to put it simple, songs from 1 to 2 years ago that are of high quality are now impacting the charts, putting songs released in 2025 on the back burner. Now, does this mean that the songs being released now are not good enough, or they can't compete with older hits, and audiences choosing to stream these older hits longer being a sign that hits of present day are not hitting? Possibly. If you can remember, I had the opposite conversation right here on my channel last year in the video titled The Industry is Crumbling. In that video, I touched on many topics, including high-profile songs going number 1, then quickly departing the top 10 after spending 1 to 2 weeks at the top spot. Ariana Grande's Yes and spending only 1 week atop the chart. Texas Hold'em by Beyonce did only 2 weeks at the top spot. Taylor Swift featuring Post Malone, Fortnite, spent a fortnight at number 1. And the list goes on of tracks departing the top spot faster than you can say gibberish on TikTok. When you think of Song of the Summer, what comes to mind? Is it Rihanna's global smash Umbrella released in 2007? Katy Perry's 2010's sugary California Girls? Is it Usher's Yeah? Or Lil Wayne's provocative 2008 single Lollipop? Maybe it's Carly Rae Jepsen's Call Me Maybe, or Beyonce's Crazy in Love. Well, all of the above are unquestionable summer songs of past years that will live on forever. However, in relation to today's Song of the Summer, there seems to be no definite Song of the Summer. While Kendrick Lamar and SZA's hit Luther, which dominated the top spot for 13 weeks, is the obvious Song of the Summer, many still aren't convinced that there is a Song of the Summer out right now, as most of the songs dominating the top 40 are the same songs from last year. Typically, there have always been a song or songs of the summer competing for the title, but due to the lack of fresh hits that are blockbuster-esque that is also captivating audiences due to their embodiment of the summer, I'm seeing that we are having more conversation about the lack of a summer song at the moment. And Mind you, the summer is almost over. In 2024, we had so many songs that really captured the essence of summer, that embody long walks on the beach, skinny dipping, dangerous raves, and getting fucked up. Think Sabrina Carpenter's Espresso, Shabuzi's A Bar Song Tipsy, Charlie XCX, entire Green Album, or Kendrick Lamar's Not Like Us. But in 2025, we only have one song due to it being a commercial success. Meanwhile, the rest of the chart consisting of old songs that are charting high, preventing other potential songs of the summer, such as Lola Young's One Thing, Lady Gaga's Abracadabra, or that When Love Takes Over-esque song by Zara Larsson, to get overlooked. Now, this is not the first time we are having this conversation. 8 years ago, yes, interestingly, in 2016, a year many claim that produced the best music, Chris Richard of Washington Post wrote, "So, here we are. Where's the tune? Don't say Can't Stop the Feeling. Don't say SZA's Cheap Thrills. Please don't say Drake's One Dance." Yes, those hits have each risen to the peak of Billboard's singles chart this summer, but none of them have risen to the moment. How could they? The moment is a monster, and I feel like it's turning our listening inside out. Instead of the radio altering how we experience the summer is altering how we experience the radio. There is no song of the summer, just a summer littered with songs. As I said, 2016 has been coined a great year for music for a lot of people, myself included. So it is interesting to see someone with this perspective, as this was the year we got work from Rihanna. We also got This Is What You Came For by Calvin Harris and Rihanna, Closer by the Chainsmokers, and yes, Cheap Thrills by SZA, and Drake's One Dance. So I guess we will always have persons complaining about the absence of of the perfect summer song, whether the complaints are in the majority or minority. And maybe these conversations will only get more magnified due to how fragmented we all are because of different algorithms on these different streaming apps such as Spotify, YouTube, and Apple Music. As the radio and programs like 106 and Park and TRL, which I think got canceled, are no longer able to influence the masses in unison. We no longer look to these traditional institutions for what's poppin' or for what's the song of the summer. We now look to ourselves. Remember how a few moments in the segment I was going on about how 2024 had songs that were undeniably songs of the summer? Well, Amanda Llewellyn from Vox.com, in an article titled "What's 2024's Song of the Summer? Can We Even Have One Anymore?" believes the complete opposite. But I think we share the same sentiment as to why it's getting harder for us to collectively decide what the official song of the summer is. Amanda wrote, "These artists, Chappell Roan, Charlie XCX, Espresso, Sabrina Carpenter, have ruled my playlist this summer. My friends are playing their songs at parties. My social media feeds are overwhelmed with news and memes about them. They are inescapable. So they must all be contenders for 2024's Song of the Summer, right?" Wrong. Take a look at the top of the Billboard Songs of the Summer chart right now, and you'll find that the top 10 is chaos. Post Malone and Morgan Wallen occupy the top spot with their song, I Had Some Help. A song that I really don't think I could hum for you. Even if pressed, someone that I have literally never heard of, Tommy Richmond, is in the fourth spot. So what gives? How are these no-names beating out the biggest pop girlies for Song of the Summer? And if I barely recognize the most popular song in America right now, is there even such a thing as a Song of the Summer anymore? Since Billboard's Hot 100 chart takes streaming into account, musicologist and Switch on Pop co-host Charlie Hardin argues that the chart are more accurate now. You might be shocked to learn that music listening has changed since Billboard's first started naming summer hits. We are now in what scientists have tentatively began calling the streaming era, where a huge chunk of listening takes place on platforms like YouTube, Spotify, and Apple Music, in addition to the radio. The changes have diminished radio DJs and music executives' ability to name hits, and it has shifted power to listeners, many of whom are influenced by Spotify's personalized recommendation algorithms, which the company has prioritized at least since 2020. An artist who I think embody the summertime and that their song should be a contender for the Song of the Summer is Tyla. And the song I'm talking about is Push to Start, which came out in the fall of last year, which was and is criminally being slept on. The The track is upbeat, very addictive, and it's different with its amapiano elements. The music video also gives summer energy. She's outside whining and shit, but y'all slept on it, resulting in the track peaking at number 88 on the Hot 100. Not that peaking at number 88 is horrible, as Tyla is still a young artist and has a lot to learn about the industry. She has already moved on from the track after releasing a remix version with Sean Paul, which I don't think was all that necessary. Recently, she dropped 2 other singles, Bliss and Is It. Both also have a summer vibe, especially the latter. Is It, which is a high performance dancehall track, which I really like. Not sure if it's song of the summer as it was released a few days ago, and also for the fact that the summer is almost over. I think Lola Young's One Thing is a song of the summer, along with Drake's Nokia, although I'm not a fan of that track, but it definitely embodies a summertime and shaking ass vibes. Kendrick Lamar and SZA's Luther is a summer song as well. Tate McRae's Sports Car, Love Me Not by Raven Lenae is another song of the summer for me. There's also Big X The Plug, The Largest, Party For You by Charlie XCX, and Shake It to the Max by Molly, Silence Addy, Skillbang, and Shensia. Let me know your songs of the summer in the comments. Is the internet killing music, or is the internet really to be blamed for this predicament of the lack of an official song of the summer? Is the current hits dilemma where newer songs aren't lasting as long like they used to, resulting in older songs lasting longer on the charts, should be blamed on the internet as well? In terms of the Hot 100, it used to be the place for the stars and who's about to be a star. And now that's not happening. Because of streaming, we are seeing artists in the top 40, but no one knows who they are. Back in the day, if your song wasn't playing on the radio or being purchased, you wouldn't crack the mainstream. And sure, during the physical era of music, there were times when it felt like an artist came, score a major hit out of nowhere. But that was the exception, not the norm. And now it has become normal to not know who is charting in these high positions on the chart.
Who are these niggas?
Because of streaming and TikTok, the exception has become the norm. Personally, I'm not too against this at all. Sure, there will be some who will push back at this trend, but nothing stays the same, and the music landscape has always been changing. That being said, it does get annoying how, because of the internet, music seems less valuable in the grand scheme. It's now about going viral in the most gimmicky way. The charts are now easily manipulated, especially if you have a built-in fan base who will support you in droves to the end of time. Or you can release an album with 20 plus tracks, then follow it up with a deluxe 2 days later for more streaming points to attain higher charting positions. Music is also becoming dystopian with the advancement of AI. Unless you live under a rock with Patrick Star, you are probably aware of the Timbaland AI artist situation, which a lot of people are not happy about. Producer Timbaland recently introduced his AI artist, Tata, and his idea of spearheading a new genre of music coined A-pop, which is short for artificial pop, through his co-launched new AI-focused entertainment company called Stage Zero. I'm not just producing tracks anymore. I'm producing systems, stories, and stars from scratch, said Timbaland in a statement to Billboard. Tata is not an avatar. She is not a character. Tata is a living, learning, autonomous music artist built with AI. She's the first artist of a new generation. A-pop is the next cultural evolution, and Tata is its first icon.
Hey yo, what the fuck?
Now here's how I feel about this AI thing. Personally, I'm not 100% against AI in music. For example, feeding AI a prompt to produce a specific beat. I'm fine with that because I believe if you are a truly a creative beat maker or producer, AI will not be able to match your freak. However, the idea of creating the perfect artist from scratch who will get brand deals, who will be able to walk that line of the perfect celebrity is pretty dystopian. Not cheating, but erasure of real artists. And that, I don't like that. There's also the rage baiting angle a lot of artists are subjecting their audience to in order to go viral, which isn't new. It's just a new name for shock value marketing in this, social media era. But what's lacking with rage baiting is the lack of artistic integrity. We've seen artists such as Doja Cat and even Sabrina Carpenter utilize rage baiting, but at least they have something to say that's on some level thought-provoking. And in many cases, they are making fun of their critics. Now, on the other hand, we have artists like JoJo Swia, who becomes the joke, not the other way around, for the sole purpose of farming engagement at the expense of her artistry. But again, I can't really blame JoJo because the internet does incentivize nonsense. She just needs to find a balance where she is still offering some substance. Like, for example, with her new song, which is a cover of Kim Carnes, maybe I just said her name wrong, Kim Carnes' Betty Davis Eyes. Like, you can't tell me that she's not trolling. Like, it's just pure trolling. Sounds like she has the nastiest hawk toi stuck in her throat. It's like she forgot to spit on that thing before she went on the mic. Music doesn't hit the same for many different reasons right now. And I feel like it all and always comes back to these goddamn streaming services. While with streaming comes convenience, convenience is now having a downside, as there are also just too many options, too many songs, too many albums, and it all feels exhausting. Plus, most of these songs are all fighting to trend on TikTok. In other words, it's like artists nowadays are all chasing the same crowd. I feel like it's the same scenario with platforms like Netflix. Too many options, and I keep going back to the same movies and series I initially started the membership for. So I can see why older songs are not departing the charts, because the new music isn't good enough to replace them, making it easier to stick with that playlist you've listened to millions of times now. As there is already an existence of comfort and confidence, you're gonna get exactly what you want. Also, it has become more difficult and takes longer to discover good music because the algorithm prioritizes the TikTok songs. But then again, you can't put all the blame on the streaming services, seeing we are the ones who incentivize them. So until the music gets better, I will be still listening to my old songs from playlists I created in 2016. What do you think? So I asked y'all in the community section to guess the title of this video, and a lot of y'all were close. Shout out to UseNABT. They said Death of the Song of the Summer. Shout out to Philippine So Good. They said Billboard Hot 100 has been so stagnant all year, or something about here is the song of the summer. Shout out to David Chibiuki20. They said Billboard Payola and how virality is killing the soul of music. If you'd like for me to read your comment in the next video, just stay tuned to the community section, as I will do the same for the next video. I am Donnie, Pop Culture Boy, and I will see you in the next one.